I mentioned earlier, you've got this unbelievable story, which truly is heartwarming, and anybody who knows your story would not begrudge any amount of success that you achieve. I think because what you had to go through as a kid, well, you barely had a childhood, in my opinion. Like, you had to grow up very, very fast. But I read somewhere online, you grew up in Donninghurst, a normal lad, a normal boy, did a job, made ends meet. And I thought, oh, you can't believe what you read on the internet, because your upbringing wasn't that of a normal kid, was it? It was very, very difficult, lots of setbacks. So do you mind telling us about your upbringing and what made you you?
Yeah, no, of course. And it's actually really funny too, because I actually know exactly what you read, because I remember I actually wrote a paragraph for the website in question. And then they wrote it like I was like Oliver Twist. And I was like, what is this? It was like he went from job to job to make ends meet. I was like, I wasn't Bear Grylls. Like I was like, when I read it, I was like, job to make ends meet. I was like, what? I mean, yeah, I wasn't well off, but like, goodness, the way they wrote it, I was like, what is this? But now on a more serious note, yeah, I mean, it's something I'm completely fine to talk about. And, it is I guess like it's a sad story, but, it is one of those things that I believe that you're shaped by the experiences that you have in life, and there's ups, there's downs. Some people have a worse run than others, and, it is what it is. So, basically my mom got pregnant with me super young. She was 15. So she was doing her GCSEs while she was pregnant, which is a, wild thing to consider. And the gent in question, so my dad, when he found out she was pregnant, just peaced out. Like, he was gone. Like, wasn't even like a let's wait and try, or it was like he found out and was just gone. Like, so my mom had me at 16, and I was raised by my mum, my auntie, my grandma, and my granddad. And first of all, stellar job. Again, I think that the reason yeah, exactly, 100%. I mean, I think the reason that I have come to be the way I am is fully because I was raised very well, and I was, taught to be polite, and there was some mixed messages in there of, it was like, definitely ask for things or else you won't get them. And then it was like, asking for things is rude, be careful. I'm like, all right, look, listen, relax. So we settled on we settled on closed mouths are never fed. That's what I've settled on in my life now. So I will chirp up all the time. I'll ask for everything. Worst you can get is a no. So, and yeah, I mean, it was, I think it was a relatively typical single family upbringing. I was raised in council house environment, and we moved around a lot. And that was partially down to my mum being so like sort of sporadic. I mean, I remember one day I woke up, I lived in England. She went, come on, got in a car, lived in Wales by the nighttime. Like, just absolutely just was a free spirit. I was in no way raised in a way where we had a bunch of money, but like, it was always like that really was like a make ends meet situation, like we always had a bit of food on the table. There was no real, no spoiling really, no treats. Like, it was definitely like a case of like the things that I got. So when I was getting into games consoles and stuff, it was like my granddad would spoil me and he'd, get me something. And, I'll still never forget the day. And maybe this is why I ended up so polite. My granddad bought me Pokemon Stadium for the Nintendo 64, right? And I was like, oh, we went into Woolworths to get it. So we're talking years back now, right? So I was like, oh my goodness. So I went home, I was playing Pokemon Stadium. I slipped up and I said something. And I remember I said to my mum, oh, the next time granddad gets me a game, I hope it's this one. And she was like, how dare you? How dare you be so expectant that he would buy you another game? And I was like, oh, and I really feel like I think I was about 8 at that point, and it completely changed my outlook on how I was like, oh, you're right, actually, that's really rude. I actually shouldn't have thought like that. That's disrespectful. So I like to think that they drilled good morals into me, and I think that's very important. And then as I got older, there was opportunities. I was sort of 13, 14, 15. I was going to school and, teetering around sort of, I was a little bit above a C grade student, and, I was never struggling at school, but, I was never excelling really either. Apart from in like music, I loved music. So I was always doing stuff like that. And there was these opportunities where, my family knew who my dad was. But I made the decision really young, that I'm being raised fine, actually. Like, you know, I'm having a great experience, or as good as it could be. I don't see how knowing who it is going to have a positive impact on my life, like, at all. And to clarify, to this day, like, I still have no idea, not a clue.
Oh, wow.
Family members still know, and I'm firm on I'm good. Like, you know, don't get me wrong, I understand there's probably a level of, I'm sure he was terrified too. Yeah, I'm sure he was, you know, young, and that's a scary situation to be in. But it all came down to, I was literally raised well enough in the situation that I was raised in, where I made that choice that I have no real interest in discovering, honestly.